What's going on, boxing fans? Julian Williams here with The Distance. Got a prediction video for you guys. April 2nd matchup between Robert Helenius and Samuel Peter. Takes place, I believe, it's going to be in Europe, so it's not going to be on television here. Hopefully I find a YouTube video for this one. If you guys see one, just send it to me. I might be able to review the matchup when it's done and over. So, anyway, it was a matchup I did forget about. I forgot about this matchup. I was thinking it was happening like next week or in 2 weeks or something, because the weekend of the 16th is going to be a busy weekend in boxing. But it's overall, this is a very interesting matchup between Helenius and Samuel Peter. I think Helenius is a guy that's actually been on the come up for a while. Holds victories over some fighters in Europe and has a TKO victory over Layman Brewster. Back when Layman Brewster signed with a European promoter. And a lot of people were actually expecting big things out of him. And so, something else to know about Layman Brewster is I would actually like to see Layman Brewster in this upcoming heavyweight prize fighter. I would actually like to see him in that, since James Toney turned it down. But I don't know, it's rather unlikely. But Robert Helenius is that Stambuk Germanic type fighter. He stands straight up. He blocks punches with the gloves. Doesn't necessarily move his head because his defense is blocking the punches with the gloves and doesn't really come over the top. But he does good at dictating the fights with his jab. Does very well at that. Samuel Peter, we all know about Samuel Peter. He's been in the ring with both Klitschko brothers, gotten beat twice, or actually three times, excuse me, beat twice by Vladimir and once by Vili, who was coming off retirement. But he holds victories over Oleg Maskayev and 2 over James Toney. The first one can be debated and disputed. In the first one, I personally thought Toney won the first one. And that's just my opinion. And some others can see it a different way. But Sam Peter is a decent fighter. He's pretty much in this division. He's a decent average fighter that's very strong and has very good power if he can land on you. If he's able to land on you, his power is pretty lethal. If you don't have a good chin and he lands on you all night. So in this matchup, Robert Helenius, as I mentioned, has that standard Germanic type style of fighting. He stands straight up. He doesn't move his head. His defense is blocking blocking jabs with his left hand. And in this matchup, something to know with Sam Peter. Sam Peter has always had trouble with fighters that are able to keep him at a certain distance. If you keep him at a certain distance, Peter doesn't really know how to get inside. He has trouble using his jab to set things up. He can't really set anything up off his jab. He just, he'll jab, and sometimes he'll follow it up with something, but he doesn't know how to establish, use his jab and try to get inside, or even he doesn't really move that much. He's just kind of just standing in front of you, and that's it. That's Sam Peter. It's like, knock my fucking head off, knock my block off. But also he does throw back. In this matchup, Robert Helenius is just gonna have to dictate the pace with the jab and the overhand right. Overhand right shot is gonna be if it goes over Sam Peter's guard, then that's gonna be very important, because Sam Peter tends to get, he doesn't necessarily get hurt, but he tends to get stunned off of punches he doesn't see, or it hurts a little bit more. If he's able to land that left jab and overhand right, the entire matchup, then that's really all he needs to do. But he needs to keep Sam Peter at a certain distance, control the range using the jab, and not use the jab to just set up the shot, but just have versatility behind the jab. Helenius doesn't really throw hooks unless he has the fighter in front of him in trouble. he doesn't really go crazy unless he hurts the other fighter. But if he could stand there, if you stand there with him, and he's just throwing, and you're letting him, and he can just throw the jab and then occasionally sneak in the overhand right, then he's comfortable with that. So that's pretty much all Helenius needs to do in this match: control the range and find a way to sneak in overhand right. Maybe even the uppercut that Vladimir was looking for against him. Maybe sneak that in. I doubt it, because he doesn't throw too many uppercuts. Sam Peter in this matchup, it's gonna be. I think it should be a difficult matchup for Sam Peter, knowing that this is another fighter that uses the jab to control range. This is another fighter that can sneak in a right hand, and this is another fighter that can possibly hurt him. So in this matchup, Sam Peter pretty much has to resort to roughhousing. He has to resort to getting inside. He has to pretty much use his jab, but impose a jab. I mean, have an opposing authority behind that jab. And that opposing authority is pretty much trying to move Helenius back. He wants to move Helenius back into the ropes, so it takes the range away. It takes the range away, and he has to make Helenius fight inside. Now, a lot of people say with fighters with that what I call Germanic style in the ring, they don't like fighting inside. They don't like body shots, this, that, and the other. And honestly, out of the fights I've seen with Helenius, I've never seen a fighter, get inside, step inside that lead foot and just pound away on the body. And Sam Peter has the power to do so. He's strong enough to do it, and he has the power behind the punches to use that jab to impose a type of authority over him, to get inside and go to the body. He has that type of power. But the question is, does he know how to impose his will behind his jab? Also, it's in this matchup, it's all about going to the body. Look at Helenius' body. It's soft. He's soft in the middle. And Peter is a big guy himself. But he's been losing weight. But Peter's a big guy. But if he can, I think a shot that he wants to look for is the right uppercut to the body. The right uppercut to the body. Also the right hook to the body, go around the guard. And maybe the uppercut inside. The uppercut inside is another shot that Sam Peter wants to throw, but I don't think he would throw it because he's more of a quick jab and hooks. So with this matchup, who I think is going to win? As difficult as it is for me to kind of just sit here and analyze the fight, and how easy it is to talk for almost 10 minutes about this fight, I want to go with Robert Helenius in this matchup. I think Helenius can take if he doesn't knock out Peter late, I'm pretty sure he'll get the nod. He'll probably get the decision in this matchup. Like I said, he does a good job of just controlling the pace with the jab. Sam Peter has trouble with fighters who can control him with the jab and actually counterpunch as well. That's another thing that Sam Peter has trouble against. And Sam Peter is just going to be standing in front of Helenius. And like I said, I could see Peter trying to get inside that lead foot and going inside, but Helenius, I think, just has the ability to keep Peter within his range and land and sneaking in shots. So I'm gonna go with Robert Helenius, and I'm gonna say decision in this one. So anyway, guys, that was the distance. Thanks for watching. Peace.